Hello, for today's tutorial I'll be demonstrating how to bring one image into another image in Adobe Photoshop CS5. And to do that, I'm going to come down to Photoshop in my dock and I'm going to click on it to open it. And I'm going to press Command N, which is going to allow me to create a new file. And I'm going to call this Transform Test because we're going to be using the free Transform tool. And I like the width. It's 8 inches wide, it's 11 inches high. I can see that it's in inches here. And the background contents, the color is white. And I'm okay with that because I'm going to be bringing in an image that has a white background. So I'm just going to, it says okay. Remember, if this is flashing blue, I don't need to bring my mouse up there. I can just press return and it will do what I'm asking it to do. And so here's my document. It's 8 by 11. And if you look right here, we can see that this is actually not the full size. It's only 66.7% of the full size. If we want to see the actual size of the image, Command 1 will show the actual size. And now this is the actual size of the image. And you can see now that this is much larger than my screen. It doesn't fit on my screen. I actually have to scroll up and down to see the whole thing. It fits in terms of width, but not in height. So I'm going to find a happy medium. I'm going to ask it, Photoshop, to fit it onto my screen so I can see the whole thing, so I don't have to scroll up and down. So if I press Command 0, that will make it fit on the screen. And now you can see it's 81.9% of the actual original size. And I can see that by my ruler. Here's 0. It goes all the way over to 8 for the width. And it's 0 here, and it goes all the way down to 11 for my height. And those are my original dimensions, 8 by 11. So this file right here on my desktop is the one I want to bring over into here. And I created this in flaming text. And so I'm going to take this, and I'm going to drag it, left click and hold, and drag it down to Photoshop. And I'm going to put it on top of that, and I'm going to let go. And so as you can see now, this lighter gray tab is now open. And if I click on the one right next to it, that was my original document. And if I just go to the one right over, here is my text that I want to bring over into the document I just made. And so I want to select all of this in order to cut it out and move it. So I can do that by pressing Command A, which is select all. The other place I can do that is coming up here and say select and go to all. Knowing the keyboard shortcut saves you lots of time and lots of headaches of having to find where it is. So Command A. And now if I go up here to my move tool, which is this button over here, or I press V, which is the shortcut, you can see as my cursor comes on top of the image that has been selected, there's a pair of scissors underneath the cursor. That means that I'm ready to move this. And so if I left click and hold and drag this up to the other tab, it's going to now open that tab. I have not let go of the left mouse, and I bring the arrow, the cursor, back on top and I drop it in. So as we can see now, this is far too big, and I can move this back and forth. It doesn't fit. You can kind of see the outline. There's a faint outline of how big this is. So I need to shrink this to make it fit. So in order to do that, I need to use the free transform tool. So Command T will do that. I now can grab this edge and bring this over to here, and I can grab this edge and bring this over to here. But now I've squished it, but I haven't changed the height. So you can see that the height is 100% and the width is 61.47. I want to make those the same. So I'm going to squeeze this down until this gets to 61.47, or the quick way to do it is just to highlight that in blue and type in 61.47 and press enter, and now we have the original proportions because these are equal to one another. And if I like where it is, I can leave it there. If I don't, I can bring it up here and move it where I want it. I can use my cursor keys to move this up and down to get that right where it is. So I'm using the up and down, left, right to adjust that. And I like where it is now. I like the proportion. I like the size. And I'm going to click check mark, and there we are. We're good to go. It's set. So I'm going to grab the corner here and just drag this over here a little bit to squeeze this in. So that's one way to bring in an image. The second way is if I take this image and instead of bringing it down here and dropping it into Photoshop, I just bring it over on top of here and drop it in. You see that it automatically goes to the free transform tool, and it has already changed the width and the height. Now it's not exactly what it was over there, which was 61.47, but it's pretty close. And so if I were to just take this and put it right on top, I mean it's almost identical. And so now that kind of does a lot of the work for you. Again, I could grab these corners if I wanted to and change them and adjust them and do whatever I wanted to them, but I don't need to. I can go up and I can click check, and that is the second way to bring in an image into another image in Photoshop CS5. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Thanks.